there, here I am, once again, picking up right where we left off. Since this episode is already running long, I'll skip the lengthy intro and dive straight into the next anime that had a big impact on me. A Lull in the Sea is another gem. Initially, I was drawn to it because of its ocean setting. In this world, humans originated from the sea, fully developed, not as a fish evolving to pay taxes. And some still live underwater. The characters have the most breathtaking, gorgeous eyes, and the animation is utterly mesmerizing, its pure visual vibes. The story follows 4 students who transfer to a school on the surface. I don't really recall why. I think their underwater school lacked a teacher. The narrative becomes a bit convoluted, with love connections resembling a tangled web. Ultimately, it's a slice-of-life series with magical elements exploring themes of growing up and moving forward. The show incorporates clever details into its world building, like the sea-dwelling humans who must regularly immerse themselves in water to function properly. While some characters can be frustrating, it's essential to remember they're either kids or young adults, so their actions reflect their stages of growth. There's also a subplot about a sea god who requires appeasement through the sacrifice of a young woman sent to him on a boat. This plotline reminded me of the girl who fell beneath the sea. While the 2 stories are distinct, they share some common themes, and I would recommend experiencing both side by side. Each one left me with heartwarming feelings and a deep appreciation for their unique atmospheres. Then there's Your Lie in April. At one point, I would choose seasonal anime from Live Chart, simply browsing images and synopses to decide what to watch. Your Lie in April was one of those series. Based on a manga that was still ongoing by the time the anime was airing, I went in knowing nothing about the plot except that it involved music. I had never read it. The animation instantly captivated me. It looked stunning. I still vividly recall a cozy beach scene that felt as though I could step right into it. The story centers on Kosei, a piano prodigy who was abused by his mother. After her death, he loses the ability to hear the piano, although his hearing itself is fine. One day, he meets Kaori, a vibrant violinist who helps him rediscover his ability to play and rebuild his confidence. Meanwhile, Kosei develops romantic feelings for Kaori, though he's unsure if they're mutual. I won't delve any further into the plot because I think that's all you need to know before diving in. One minor issue I had with the series was the characters' dialogues and monologues. Every single one, even the little kids, spoke like eloquent, philosophical adults. While Kaori and Kosei's maturity made sense given their backgrounds, it became jarring when every character talked this way. It sometimes pulled me out of the story with thoughts like, why is this kid so articulate and poetic when they're supposed to be under 10? That said, Your Lie in April is an incredible story filled with emotional depth, meticulously crafted plot lines, strong character chemistry, and an unforgettable ending. Next up is HunterxHunter, a series that feels like an epic journey and one that may never reach its conclusion. I'll admit, I initially started watching it because of Killua, blue-eyed, white-haired, and dark turned good. I didn't need anything else. It was like Tauren all over again. What can I say? I was a teenager and I certainly had a type. However, the story quickly grew beyond my crush on a fictional character, and I found myself genuinely immersed in it. That being said, there's Hisoka, whose presence could be awkward at best and downright uncomfortable at worst. Thankfully, he isn't part of the main group, and his character leans more towards evil as the series progresses, avoiding other unsettling elements. The story is set in a world where people derive powers from their aura, known as Nen. What is Nen? Do yourself a favor and research it. It is a fascinating yet complex magic system, far easier to comprehend than whatever is going on in Jujutsu Kaisen. Within this world are hunters, individuals who, hunt, be it monsters, criminals, or maybe even recipes. I vaguely recall this detail, but might be mistaken. The protagonist, Gon, is on a mission to meet his father, one of the worst parents in media history. Jing abandoned Gon as a baby, and Gon's entire goal is to find him. To do so, he decides to become a hunter, like his father. Along the way, he forms deep bonds with Killua, an assassin seeking freedom from his murderous family, Kurapika, who seeks to avenge his clan's slaughter over their rare valuable eyes, and Leorio, who's in it for the money, an ambition, a respect for its honesty. It hides tragedy inside, but we're not going into it. HunterxHunter does this kind of thing. It crumbles you from the inside. Their journey is filled with challenges, rigorous training, but the focus primarily remains on Gon and Killua. The series has its share of dark moments, but nothing prepared me for the Chimera Ant arc. Let's just say things took a downward spiral. The arc introduced scenes so disturbing that I skipped several parts. Shonen anime, typically characterized by adventurous yet light-hearted tones, veered into deeply tragic and haunting territory. It was more emotionally impactful and even dramatic than many live-action series I've seen. The anime anime concluded with the election arc, but there's a new season on the horizon focusing on Leorion Kurapika. I plan to watch it because I never really got into the manga. It's dense with exposition, which makes it more enjoyable to follow on screen. For me, the highlight of HunterxHunter has always been the friendship between Gon and Killua, but the series as a whole offers an incredible journey. I consider it among the best shonen and even seinen during the Chimera Ant arc. Then there is the Fate series. Imagine playing a video game where every decision you make alters the plot and your relationships with the characters. That's the essence of Fate. The main series consists of 3 different routes, where the protagonist, Zero, takes a different path, leading to new plots and love interests. There's also a prequel and countless spin-offs, but I'll focus on the main entries. In this world, a magical tournament takes place every 60 years, give or take. 7 magicians participate, each summoning a servant from a class, like Archer, Saber, or Berserker. These servants are often historical or mythological figures, both heroes and villains. Together, they compete for the Holy Grail, which grants both the magician and the servant a single wish. Zero, embodying a hero complex, was to save everyone, even at his own expense. Completely unaware of the tournament, he finds himself thrust into it by pure chance. His servant is Saber, a mysterious and formidable warrior who's also the love interest in Fate's Stay Night. In Fate Unlimited Blade Works, the love interest shifts to Rin, a magician with a complicated connection to Zero alongside the Archer. Finally, there's Sakura, who isn't heavily featured in earlier entries but becomes pivotal in Heaven's Feel, where she's the main love interest. Each route explores new facets of the story, creating a richly layered narrative that's both thrilling and emotional. The Fate series is truly fascinating because it's like solving a puzzle. With each season, you uncover different aspects of the plot and characters, and the full picture only emerges once you've seen them all. There's also Fate Zero, a standalone prequel that delves into the Holy Grail war prior to Zero's. It's brilliantly executed and well worth watching. I followed the release order, which I recommend, but some prefer a chronological order, so it really depends on your personal taste. Do your research to see which approach suits you better. Fate's Stay Night was produced by a different studio and has a somewhat dated appearance compared to the new entries, but it carries its own charm. That being said, the animation quality of the later entries is absolutely breathtaking. It's hard to believe humans drew them, they're that spectacular. Now, moving on to something more recent, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I'll admit, I'm not usually a fan of futuristic punk settings, so I was initially skeptical. I also hadn't played the game, still haven't, so I wasn't sure what to expect. But the internet was buzzing about it when it premiered, so I decided to give it a shot. The story unfolds in a gritty, corrupted world riddled with violence, where people modify their bodies with mechanical parts, often to the point of addiction. The protagonist, David, is a misfit whose mother works tirelessly to provide for him and ensure he attends a prestigious school that could secure his future. He's bullied because his family can't afford the cybernetic modifications most people have. However, tragedy strikes and his mother dies, leaving him completely alone. That rhymed. Nice. Circumstances lead David to enhance his body with cutting-edge technology, and he ends up joining a gang. There, he meets Lucy, and love blossoms between them. At first, I think you know where the anime is headed, but then it subverts your expectations in ways that leave you heartbroken. By the end, you can't help but wonder why everyone recommended it, considering the overwhelming pain it leaves behind. I didn't expect to like, let alone love this anime, and I did. The setting was initially appealing and I almost dropped it halfway through, but the rave reviews pushed me to finish it, and I'm so glad I did. Now I can't even look at the moon the same way anymore. Thanks Japan for that. Beyond the love story, which I adored, the series offers a raw portrayal of societal issues that arise when technology becomes too deeply ingrained in human nature. The art style and animation are extraordinary, and even the quieter moments between David and Lucy in their apartment felt incredibly authentic. I can't quite explain it, but certain animations create such a vivid atmosphere that they transport me to a specific mood, like a rainy afternoon in my own room. If this world has more compelling stories to offer in the future, I'll watch them without hesitation. That same sense of atmospheric immersion struck me during a completely different kind of anime. If you've been following anime rankings, you probably know that Fullmetal Alchemist has held the top spot for years, which, while I didn't dedicate a segment to it in this piece, it played a significant role in my anime journey as well. I often recommend it to anyone whose interests align with its themes. Recently, however, another anime claimed the top spot, and it's one I can recommend just as enthusiastically. Comparing the two is impossible, their themes, characters, and stories are entirely different, and each is a masterpiece in its own right, but Frieren has captured my heart in a way few series ever have. The story begins in a world where the hero's journey is completed, the big bad has been defeated, and peace has been restored. Imagine a post-Lord of the Rings scenario after the Fellowship has defeated Sauron. In this world, the hero's party includes an immensely powerful mage, Frieren, who happens to be an elf. Like in Lord of the Rings, elves in this world live far longer than humans, inevitably outliving everyone around them. Frieren had spent most of her life alone, secluded from the world, waiting for her time to join the big hero and defeat the demon lord that killed her people. And that time came, and the journey began. And the party grew together, but she was distant, never truly allowing herself to feel, to connect, not even while it was happening. And they defeated him, and they went their separate ways. And eventually, the humans of the party died. Among them, Himmel, the big hero, the one that while they were traveling, fell in love with Frieren, but she never paid him much interest in that regard. But then she lost him, and then it stuck to her how she had let all the precious time fly by, not taking advantage of what they were given, but what they could lose. Thus begins a new adventure, where Frieren, with a new party, travels the land to find the place where the spirits live, so that she may see him again. Along the way, she learns to let her walls fall, to trust and truly lean on, even on people that she will outlive. Whether she will manage to do it, what will happen once she does, is something that we still have to learn, as the anime only has one season and the manga isn't finished. But if or when they meet again, I will be crying tears of joy. The animation is amazing, the characters well fleshed out, but some of them, I have to say, feel a bit weird. During the end of the season, it struck me how level-headed and calm almost everyone is. It's the same problem I had with Your Lie in April, when too many characters vehemently share a trait. It starts to stand out, but it may be my problem. I don't know if anyone else has it. Still, I couldn't recommend it enough. Lastly, let's talk about Dandadan. The first episode sets the tone. It's bizarre, over the top, and laden with, let's say, mature themes. It is a bit weird, especially the first episode, so if you have some triggers, I would advise you to check them out, but afterwards, it becomes better. It still has some fan service inside, but the story is really good, especially the 7th episode. The story takes place in a world where spirits and aliens exist. The two protagonists, Momo and Okarun, start off as regular kids. Momo doesn't believe in aliens, and Okarun is skeptical about spirits. They make a bet, sending each other to locations tied to this phenomena. Chaos ensues. Momo is attacked by aliens, awakening her spiritual powers, while Okarun is possessed by a spirit, granting him demonic abilities, including super speed. Oh, and the spirit steals Okarun's genitalia. So the duo sets out to recover them. Yes, that's the plot. Hear me out? The series gets much better after the first episode. The magic system is unlike anything I've encountered, which might be why I find it so compelling despite my general aversion to space and alien themes. The main draw, however, is the characters. Momo and Okarun are adorable together, respecting each other as friends first, but their romance is subtly hinted at. As the series progresses, you can't help but root for them. I've read the manga but won't spoil what's ahead. By the time this goes live, the next season might already be streaming, or even finished. All things considered, wacky things are happening and they are funny to me. Especially the turbo granny cat, I couldn't wait for her to be on screen after a while. Momo is really interesting because her character would easily start as a vain person, making her grow into Okarun as time goes by. Like Aira, not exactly the same trope, but you get what I mean. No, she sympathizes with him, helps him, doesn't care he's an outcast, and at some point, because she can't control her emotions, she hurts him, and she's called out for that. She has flaws, she isn't perfect, and I love her for it. Okarun, on the other hand, isn't your typical shonen protagonist. Even his transformation sort of mocks the cool main protagonist archetype who is level-headed and dangerous looking when things go wrong. His transformed design is over the top and it is perfect. His real character is a down-to-earth kid who cares for those around him and wants to do good. He isn't overly enthusiastic, has difficulty fitting in, but he's also funny, tries his hardest, feels real. Anime offers such a wide array of unique concepts that there's something for everyone. If you're open to exploring, you're bound to find a series that resonates with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share your thoughts and recommendations in the comments. Also, like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next time. Bye!